Chief Mark Hill. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Al. How are you?
Not bad. How was your weekend?
It's been crazy as per usual, but we're getting by, just taking things day by day.
And a lot of good news stuff to share with everybody, right?
Yes. So, just on that note, we'll jump right into my update. First of all, Scano, Sego, and good afternoon, Six Nations community. I hope this message finds you and your family safe and healthy, both physically and mentally. I want to start this week's update by offering some gratitude. Please allow me to thank each and every member of our community for your continued dedication to the health and safety of our entire community. The COVID-19 pandemic, and along with our elected council, have asked a lot of our community, and so many of you have made so many sacrifices. I have no doubt that stories of your bravery and selflessness will be shared for the generations to come. I want to thank the frontline workers and other heroes from the Ohsweken Public Health and our health team who quickly went into action to track and contain the outbreak that was traced to the Thanksgiving long weekend. I hope their incredible dedication and strength inspires you as much as it inspires me. Since my last update a week ago, the number of active cases at Six Nations has decreased from 18 to just 4 active cases. In more good news, the total number of positive cases that have been resolved has increased from 72 to 90. I just want to say congratulations to all of our community members who have overcame their COVID-19 infections. I want to thank them for making the responsible decision to stay home and quarantine to protect themselves and their friends and family they care for. Each of us must remain vigilant and take every measure we can to stay at home and away from the threat of catching the virus. I asked each of us to do more to stop the outbreak that was spreading throughout our community, and these numbers prove that you have once again answered the call. Six Nations' ability to track and contain outbreaks speaks volumes to our dedication, autonomy, and self-determination. Over the next 2 weeks, Six Nations public health professionals will continue to monitor and assess the situation in our community to decide the next steps on our path to recovery, including whether or not we move into another stage of our pandemic plan. Whether we move up or down in the stages and increase or decrease public health measures, that will depend on how well the community listens to our current measures and keeps our number of infected cases from growing. As a continued precaution for the health and safety of all of our elders and knowledge keepers, non-essential visitors to the Iroquois Lodge are still not permitted at this time. We understand that some of the public health measures may not make complete sense to everybody. We are learning together and following the most up-to-date advice from scientists and public health professionals. One public health measure that has been proven to be extremely effective in stopping the spread of COVID-19 is the wearing of face masks and other face coverings. I would like to remind everybody that the elected council passed a resolution making face coverings mandatory in all indoor public spaces and for ride services. This rule is also in place for all the elected council departments who are required to wear face coverings to enter buildings and when they are indoors in their office and unable to maintain physical distancing. Another resolution passed by council was the reduce unmonitored indoor and outdoor gathering sizes to household members only. We continue to strongly encourage members not to travel to the hotspot areas, including the Toronto, GTA, and Peel regions, as well as the Ottawa and Hamilton areas unless absolutely necessary. Traveling should be limited to essential travel only at this time. We continue to plead with any visitors coming to our territory to please respect our COVID-19 measures that are in place to flatten the second wave curve. Contact tracing is still a very important tool that we will use to contain and slow the spread of COVID within our community. You could consider keeping a journal or use a voice recording app on your phones to record your contact exposure over the past 14 days. We all must continue to follow the core health principles, which again are staying home when ill, even with mild symptoms, only leaving your household for essential purposes, maintain physical distance from others outside your immediate household, as well only gatherings with those within your household, clean hands regularly with soap and water or hand sanitizer, wearing of a face covering when in public places, and to clean and disinfect commonly touched surfaces within your home or at work constantly. For members wanting to book a COVID-19 test, please call the Six Nations Assessment Center toll-free at 1-855-977-7737 or locally at 226-446-9909. A reminder that the Emergency Control Group launched an online and paper form in regards to community events that community members can complete and submit to have their events reviewed by the team and healthcare professionals. Advice and suggestions on how to safely run events will be shared with each submission. Event planning forms can be found on both sixnations.ca and sixnationscovid19.ca websites. We also thank the businesses that have been adapting to provide safe services during COVID. A reminder to owners of the COVID-19 hotline for businesses that can be reached at 519-750-4908 for any additional support, along with our document of the health and safety guidelines. And one more reminder that the emergency food support services are open Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and they can be reached at 519-717-3403. Moving into my next update in regards to the situation happening within the Caledonia area, also known as Landback Lane. I would like to end today's update in the same spirit of gratitude that I started with. I would like to thank the members of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy Council as well as the clan mothers who allowed me to attend an informal meeting of the council where we engaged in an open and respectful dialogue around the ongoing dispute at Mackenzie Meadows, along with other issues that have been having a negative impact on our overall relationship. We acknowledge the tensions in our community and both expressed interest in taking actions to repair relations here at Six Nations. Also discussed our common interests around finding a peaceful resolution that avoids any more violence or destruction of property at all costs. We hope in the days ahead that we can work in unity to focus on the common goal of addressing our Six Nations land claims. It's time for the federal and provincial governments to right their wrongs. And just on that note, as well as we moved this morning or today is Random Act of Kindness Day. So I again just want to give a shout out to our team who are handing out TIM cards to members this morning as our random act of kindness for today, but also to note that we should continue to provide this every day as we move forward here within our community. Also, as we approach National Aboriginal Veterans Day on November 8th, as well as Remembrance Day on November 11th, I also want to thank all of our veterans, past and present, for their service to our nations. Their sacrifices should inspire us all as we set our sights on the coming winter months of this pandemic. And last, but of course not least, I want to extend my gratitude and appreciation to our local radio stations for allowing me on their shows to provide the community with these updates. Six Nations is very fortunate to have 2 local radio stations that serves its members. Until next Friday, together as one, let's continue to stay safe, stay healthy, and to take care of one another. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Chief Hill.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in today. Have yourselves a safe and a healthy week ahead.